we're Tia and Jordy, and today we wanted to give you a little van tour of our Volkswagen Combi that we've been traveling in for the last few years. Oh, and this is Zenna. I forgot about her.
Our fur baby.
I forgot about you.
So we recently decided to do a full van rebuild, and so today we want to show you some of the features that we put into our home on wheels.
The van rebuild's been a pretty big upgrade for us because we traveled in the last van build that we had for quite a few years. We really stress tested it and learned about what worked and what didn't work for us. So based on that, we've made some really good adjustments that we're really happy with. So we're just having our coffee at the moment and then we'll get stuck into it.
Since we've already made our morning coffee, we'll show you the kitchen setup first. So this is easily the most used part of the van. And so we were really careful in designing it because previously this whole setup would slide out but be fixed inside the van all the way to the back. So what we did this time was we decided to make it versatile. We've got these handles on each side, which mean we bring it in and out of the van. So the cabinets were built with marine ply tops, and we have structural ply for the frame. And then we finished it off with this VJ, which is a really nice paneling. The runners are heavy duty. They hold 120 kilograms, which is more than enough for what we carry here. So once the drawer is out, all of the weight sits to the front. So what we've done is we've made a way for us to fix it into the van by simply clicking it to the floor. And easily one of my favorite features about the kitchen setup is that it can be taken in and out of the van quickly and easily. We can cook outside a lot of the time, or if we prefer, we can cook inside as well. So you can see the burner setup is situated right on top. So as soon as the drawer comes out, it's basically ready to cook. And that was really important to us because previously we had the burner actually sitting sideways and there was 2 extra steps to get started on the cooking. What I've done is designed the hose to go down into this cabinet. We keep our gas bottle inside here, which keeps less items loose inside the van, and it keeps it nice and tucked away. Inside the cabinet, we keep a lot of our cooking gear, extra cups, our pots and pans, our coffee grinder, things that we want quickly on hand and that we use on a daily basis. So Tia and I rarely eat out. We spend a lot of our time here and it's actually one of our favorite features.
Coming inside the van, this feature has to be my favorite in our new van build. So in our previous build, we did not have a sink. So anytime I wanted to brush my teeth, wash my face, we'd have to find the nearest public toilet or tap, which we no longer have to do. So I'm pumped. So it was actually pretty hard to find the right sink and tap that was gonna fit in this space, because for the tap, we needed something small enough so that our window can still slide open without hitting it. And also the sink had to fit in this cabinet space. So it was pretty tricky, but in the end we found a sink from a local shop and we found the tap from Reese's Plumbing. We have a 22-liter container in this bottom cabinet here, and we've just installed a water pump for the tap. We also made this little board that sits over top of the sink, which is great because we can take it off, use it as a chopping board, or if we're not using the sink, just makes it that much more roomy on the bench. This cupboard here used to be our pantry, but we've lost a little bit of space with the sink here. So now we just use it as a cupboard for all of our cleaning products, dog treats, and that kind of thing. And we've painted all of the inside of the cupboards with a waterproof paint just to make sure that they're sealed if any water does happen to get in. In this drawer here is where we keep all of our cutlery. It does have a little bit of random stuff in it as well, like dog food. We have some film rolls and some snacks. Below it is our pantry. It is a much bigger pantry than we used to have, but all of my clothes used to fit in this one cupboard, and Jordan would have to put his clothes behind his seat. So that was one of the improvements that we did really want to make. We rarely feel the need to eat out because we have so much space here to just make our own food. We also keep some products in this cupboard. We work full-time on the road, so we get shipped a lot of products to create content with. So we use this cupboard for any products that we need to shoot as well.
One thing that really changed the space for us in the van was finding a fridge that could fit in between our front seats here. Previously we had a bucket fridge and it would sit right in the middle of our space at the back. So when we would pull up, we'd have to take it in and out of the van and it would just always seem to be in the way. And having this fridge here, it's designed by Companion Leisure. It's got an LG compressor on it, so it's a really reliable fridge. Doesn't draw too much power. It's been just a game changer. Now we can have food on the road because it's always accessible, and we always know that the fridge has got its place and it's kind of out of the way. This fridge was surprisingly the cheapest on the market, so that really helped our budget for the build. And it was great because no other fridge with 45 litres was going to fit in this narrow space. Traveling in Stella means we have a much smaller van than most people while on the road, so we utilize as much space as we can. Up the front here we have these bamboo racks, and they keep most of our toiletries and things that we want close on hand.
As I mentioned earlier, I used to keep all of my clothes in this cupboard here, and to be honest, storage was our biggest issue in our previous build. So we used to have a bed that was the full length of the van, and we've actually gone ahead and cut it into like a 3/4 bed so that we could make space for all of this extra cabinetry that goes all the way to the back of the van. So now I'm able to keep all of my clothes in this one drawer alone, which is pretty amazing. And Jordan keeps all of his in this next one here. We keep all of our clothes in these packing cubes. They're from a brand called Northern Olive, and we found them so handy just to keep ourselves that much more organized on the road. It does get very disastrous in here at times, so anything that helps with extra organization is just amazing for us. We had a couple USB plugs installed here so that we can easily charge our phones while we're hanging out in the back here.
You can imagine we have a lot of loose items in the van, so we installed just a fun little pouch here to keep our knickknacks, some of our books. Tia's really into drawing and writing in her diary, so this has been a real game changer as well, just to keep everything from floating around the van and not having its own place. And the cabinet at the back here is where we keep some extra chargers, things that we need on hand when we're sleeping at night, and our laptops. I love having some power at the back, so at night we can charge our phones. So we put 2 more USB plugs here and a 12 volt, which helps us to charge things that we need ready for the next morning. We do our best to keep the van tidy during the day. So what we do is we like to set up the chair, make the bed. So it means all of our bedding goes to the back here and some of our storage goods. What we'll do at night is make our bed and transfer a lot of these things to the pop top, which is one reason that we love it so much.
Underneath our chair, we also have a little bit of extra storage. So we keep things like our shoes, our hiking gear, stuff that we don't pull out on the daily basis. And we also have all of our batteries there that connect to our solar panel. All of our gear at the moment is from iTech World. We have a 120 amp hour lithium battery setup. We installed a 1000 watt inverter and an AC/DC charger. That makes sure we get enough power to charge everything we need on the road, which is quite a bit of gear. This setup that we have now is much more powerful than what we had previously. From our experiences traveling, we realized that we really like to be off the grid. So having a setup like this allows us to be remote for as long as we want.
The bed is definitely Zena's favorite part of the van. It's a 3/4 bed, as Tia mentioned, and we actually had to shorten it a little bit to fit in the van, and we found it to be still very comfortable and enough space for both of us to fit with Zena, although she does take a lot of space up. It pulls out in a couple of easy steps. It's called a rock and roll bed, which is quite common in these campers, and so I'll give you a demonstration now of how it comes out.
For years we had the most terrible sleeps in this van possible. We'd wake up so grumpy and really sore every morning. So we decided to invest in a good mattress. We went to Clark Rubber And we actually just ended up buying a proper bed mattress, and they were nice enough to cut up the foam for us so that we could have it in 3 sections for our chair. And now our sleeps are amazing. I find this bed so comfortable and I sleep so well in the van now. So that was a really major upgrade. And that concludes our van tour. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to follow along our adventures around Australia. Thanks for watching.